Welcome to your first day of e-learning. We are going to get into Tasmanian devils today. So you're going to go back to your the handout of Do Animals Get Cancer? And you're going to turn to this page. Do Tasmanian devils get cancer? Now, weirdly enough, this one hits a little bit close to home because I actually used to work in I didn't work for the guy that did this research, but he was on my master's committee, and I used his lab to work on my own research using a virus that infected amphibians. But this guy was always around. I taught with him. For him, he taught a class, and I taught the lab class. So I was actually around this research a lot with Tasmanian devils, and they're actually infectious cancer. That's right, you heard it, infectious cancer, which is really weird. We don't know any instance of that in humans, but it happens in devils, and so we know that it can happen. So the goal of the research is to help understand why it actually happens. So the first thing you're going to do, if you haven't already, you're going to watch that video that I posted on YouTube. It should say NSF, and it's brought to you by Andrew Storfer. That's the guy talking to you. If you're on the right page, if he kind of looks like a cartoon villain, he's actually nice, promise, but he does look like a cartoon villain. That is true. If you're thinking that, I also thought that, yes. So you're going to watch that and then come to these questions. So if you haven't, go ahead and pause this and do that now. All right, so now that you watched that, you can come back to this. And what we're going to do today, so today's assignment that you're going to do is going to be a lot based on that video. So you'll get a lot of the answers that you're going to do from that video. You may want to watch that again if you need to. But you're going to answer all the questions on this page. I'm going to go over this diagram. Ooh, this one, hard when it's opposite you. I'm going to go over this diagram in particular with you, and well, really both, because they need a little bit of explanation, I thought. So if you're looking at this, try to get that just right. Whoop. It's really weird doing this from a webcam, guys. This is weird for me. Okay, so you have this this diagram where you're looking at normal. There we go. Normal Tasmanian devil with its DNA right there. That's going to be what's called a reference genome. And I just want to go over the term genome with you guys because Storfer, or Dr. Storfer, we call him Storfer. Dr. Storfer went over that in the video. He kept saying the word genome because that's one of the things he did. But he was called a landscape geneticist, and he looked at genomes. Lots of big words. But a genome is just a term for all an organism's DNA. So if you were to take you and all the genetic information you have in your cells, that would be your genome. Okay, so just considering all the chromosomes, all the DNA, that would be your genome. So when it says we're analyzing the genome, you're basically just taking one devil and analyzing the entire devil's genetic information. That's it. Okay, so you have the devil facial tumor disease that you can also look at the genome in those cancer cells in particular. And what they're seeing is you see a mutation where you don't have that line right here between that C and the A. So there was a mutation in the genome analysis, okay? So a mutation from the reference genome, meaning the normal cancer, normal non-cancerous cells in your devils, and then you had your facial tumor genome also. So there is a mutation there that originally caused that, and that's what they're showing here is you can see besides like this guy's kind of an outlier, but the rest of them are pretty close together. This was probably originally caused by one mutation that then spread to other devils because, like Dr. Storfer talked about, Tasmanian devils often bite each other. And so their cells could easily get into the bodies of the other Tasmanian devils. So that would be how it's transmitted. Okay, so I'm kind of helping you out with that. If you're looking at this diagram, it is going over what the mutation actually led to. So we have a normal, oops, sorry, my finger's covering it. You have a normal white blood cell and then a devil facial tumor disease. That's what the DFTD stands for, devil facial tumor disease. You have that cell, which is the mutated cell. Okay, so in the normal cell, it says MHC genes create ID cards. Okay, what that means is if a normal cell becomes infected, and either with a cancer cell, cancer DNA, or say like a virus, like coronavirus. We'll just talk about coronaviruses if you're not tired enough with it already. If your cell gets infected with coronavirus, your cells put out those ID cards on the outside of them that say, hey, we're infected. We are actually infected with something. And so that alerts the white blood cells to come then attack that infected cell. Boom, boom, done. They eliminate the infected cell so that your other cells don't get infected. So that's what a normal cell does when it's infected and has something wrong with it, or say is a cancer cell. This is what cancer cells do too. Cancer cells, if they are working correctly and those checkpoints are working, those tumor suppressors are working, they will alert and say, hey, whoa, there's something wrong with the cell. And so those ID cards will be displayed, again, on the outside of the cell. And then those white blood cells will go to that cell and will eliminate it. So here's where the devil cell facial tumor disease cells are a little bit different. So you have these guys inactivate what we call the ID cards. So these are the ID cards, these MHC genes. In your infected ones, they're inactivating those genes that actually display the ID card. So it's taking away the ID cards. Whoop. So they're not alerting the white blood cells. So therefore, the white blood cells are these killer T cells that are on that diagram. Those are the white blood cells that actually kill the infected cells. So if you don't have ID cards that are alerting it, then you don't have the white blood cells that are responding. So that's what that mutation led to, was those MHC genes being deactivated, meaning the ID tags are gone, meaning the white blood cells cannot find the infected cells and do their job of eliminating them. Whew, okay. So I hope that helps with the diagrams. We just haven't talked about the immune system or white blood cells, so I thought you might need a little more help with those. So your assignment today, again, watch that video if you haven't already. Okay, you may need to watch it again. Answer the questions on here. All right, we went over a lot of the diagrams that would be the answers on here, so you may need to watch this again too. Then, just one more thing. All right, expect 20 to 30 minutes of work per day. And this should take 10 minutes, so you should spend 20 minutes on the other stuff. Then you're going to go to the second page. Okay, so you're going to have this one, complete that one. And then you're going to move to this page. This page is where you're going to condense all of the previous animals we talked about with the Tasmanian devils, new information, with the old information from elephants, sea lions, and the other one, what was the other one? It was naked mole rats. So all those animals, you're going to put all the information we learned from all 4 of those animals together on here. Okay, and it's going to connect it also back to the Hayflick limit, which we talked about before, and these things called telomeres. Okay, remember that's what actually helped us develop the Hayflick limit, so you may have to refer back to those notes. But you're going to do this one too. Okay, so that's what you're doing today. That's today's classwork. We will go over the takeaways from these things on Tuesday, tomorrow. Okay, so I'll make another video for tomorrow, and we're going to go over these, and we're going to go to the last one which is the axolotl. So you're not doing that part today. You're just doing this page and the devil page. Okay? Also tomorrow, I'll have another March Mammal Madness. This will be the last of round 2, so I will include that in Tuesday's video as well. If you guys have any questions, you know where to find me. Shoot me an email, comment in Google Classroom, send a private comment, just comment on this video. Either way, I don't care. I'm here to answer your questions. Hope you're all surviving. You're not going crazy. I'm going a little bit crazy, which I know is weird because you didn't think I could go even more crazy, but here we are. Yeah, you guys have a nice day. Tomorrow, maybe I'll even introduce you to my pets. Today was just day 1, so it's intro to Ms. Miner's life outside the classroom. So maybe you'll get a little bit more tomorrow. Who's to know? All right, leaving you on a suspenseful note here. Bye.